Good morning. Sir, you were charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, yes. On December 16th, 2024, at approximately 12:48 a.m., officers were dispatched to a major crash at the 6100 block of Ridgemont Street in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the other officers who had advised that when they arrived on the scene, the defendant, the sole occupant of the motor vehicle, had crashed into the ditch. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed the bloodshot, watery eyes, slurred speech, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. An inventory search of the vehicle revealed one bottle of whiskey under the front passenger seat, which was 2/3 empty. Standard field sobriety tests were attempted, HGN 6 out of 6, the walk and turn was refused, and 4 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused. A blood search warrant was signed.
All right, stop right here. This is a major legal moment. When someone refuses a blood or breath test, officers don't just let it go. They immediately seek a warrant from a judge. And once that gets approved, refusal no longer protects you. If anything, it can actually hurt your situation more. Let me ask you this. Do you think refusing a test really helps, or does it just postpone what's coming anyway?
Can you run his criminal history, please? I'd like to see if he has any other DWIs.
Your Honor, there's no prior DWIs.
Is there an allegation that he was allegedly consuming alcohol while he's driving?
No, Your Honor, they only found a bottle under the passenger seat, not cold with touch or anything like that.
Mr. Nesbitt, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you run his license to see if he has a Texas driver license?
It's eligible, Your Honor.
All right. I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, your bond will be revoked. You will go to jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You have a license. You're not allowed to drive unless you have car insurance as well in your name. I'm making that also a condition of your bond. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
I'm sorry?
Are you working? What do you do in life?
I'm a mechanic.
What
But
kind of
I
money?
can afford an attorney.
Do you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, sir?
Yes.
Okay. We'll give you an application. I need to know everything about you. Don't just put zeros because I'm going to send it right back to you. I need to know everything about you. And if you qualify, we'll appoint your lawyer. But just remember, don't consume alcohol. Don't use illegal drugs. You understand, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Stephen will give you the application. I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box, sir. Did you want to talk?
Yeah, Judge, I've got a case, Derek Adams, on the docket. He was supposed to complete 2 classes by today.
Not do it?
No, he did,
Hey.
but he didn't pass one of them. And the contract doesn't require passing; it just requires taking. And so, Miss Saba, hey,
Judge, I just needed chief approval that that's sufficient. I've never been in this situation. Like, I don't know if I can dismiss a case for failing an effective decision-making
Okay.
course, but
How do you
attempting
Get
it.
this, Judge. There's not a single chief working today. So it seems like there's not really effective.
So let's roll it to tomorrow. Have him take it again.
I'm not coming back here.
Zoom in. That's why I have Zoom, to make it easier for you.
That's true. I'm appointed. Money's really tight for him. The
Case
contract
is 1,292 days old. We've given him how much grace to get this thing done over and over? Really?
And it was
Judge-
just 2 classes, Judge.
Last time, if you didn't have it done, you didn't have it passed. I'm carrying you day for day.
The contract doesn't require passing. I mean, I'm actually serious about that. Although it's funny.
I would be hard pressed to find a chief that's going to acquiesce to that. I mean, really,
I mean,
I don't know.
It was just, it was a pretty good PTI offer, Judge. It was just effective decision-making and a gun safety class, both of which are 2 hours. The effective.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour class, right?
Costs
Corey?
$22, I believe. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to do it again.
Just, a lot of times they don't take it seriously. So let's roll it to tomorrow, have him do it again, and then let him know we're going to redo it day for day until he gets it done. At nearly 1,300 days, I have no sympathy for this person.
the term? A collateral estoppel or something like breach of contract? It's not my bag of chips.
Remember, they're the ones that have the power to dismiss. I don't.
Right.
They're the ones, I just sign it. They're the ones who actually file the motion.
I know that.
So do we know
I'm just
when is
asking.
she coming back?
I mean, Kelsey won't be back till Monday, Judge.
Okay, so let's roll it to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Have him take it again. Maybe he'll pass it this time. Tell him to pay closer attention. It's only 2 hours. It's not much. If he doesn't want to do it, okay, I'm just going to roll him to Monday. I'm going to keep doing it. It's 1,300 days. We got to take care of this.
As long as I have
separate
a
trial.
chief tell me that the attempt is fine, like I just can't make that call, Judge.
Did you see how good of an attempt it was?
He failed it. It was like a 50%.
Somewhere around 57.
So
I'm rolling it to tomorrow.
is there a possibility that we're gonna have a chief?
No.
As long as there's another
not one
chief.
But if he passes, it gets dismissed.
Yeah, and I can ask another, like, if our bureau chief is here or one of our deputy dogs, I can go ask them after docket, Judge.
It's up to you.
Oh, I've been around everywhere. There's no chiefs.
Well, I mean, they would be on the 5th floor, Judge.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I mean, we have a lot of work to do. We have 3 other courts that we need to cover as well.
Yeah.
So have him try it again tomorrow. If he doesn't want to do it, then we're just going to roll till Monday. Yeah, really.
Is Dave here?
He's here, yes.
Adam?
Come on up.
How you doing?
Hi. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Judge. Nice to see you.
Merry Christmas. Sir.
Merry Christmas to you, Your Honor.
What are you doing with your client?
Yes, sir. I did talk to him about the most recent offer that came in this morning. And the VA's not here, so I can't really respond back to her with some evidence. So we were going to go on.
Judge, she emailed me this morning. She's looked at the mitigation packet that defense sent, and she emailed me this morning telling me what her offer is. So everything that I relayed to her is her latest update.
What is the offer?
It's a 9-month deferred, Judge.
Yeah, and Your Honor, one of the things is just from reviewing this, it doesn't appear that the mitigation made it clear enough, or they didn't take very seriously the statement that the house that the complainant and her mother's living in right now is owned by my client. He's the owner of that house, and they are living there because he's allowing them to live there. Now, he's charged them rent before, but he has not moved to evict them. He wants this process to end, but somehow from the notes that they were reading.
What's your client's name? What is your?
Hudlow.
Hudlow.
Hudlow, H-U-D-L-O-W.
Yeah.
And
The problem is that it's really old.
Your Honor, and I discussed that with them, and so they're willing to keep. He wanted to talk to Mr. Garza directly. I've been back there calling for the last 30 minutes, if not longer, trying to
I
reach
mean, what
him.
we can do is I can give you till Monday, but it's plea or trial on that day.
Yes, sir.
You know,
That would be,
Mr. Hudlow, come up.
And Judge, the state's offer is going to stand. I mean,
Come around
Morgan,
this way, sir. All right. Good morning, Mr. Hudlow.
Morning. Merry
You
Christmas.
got to understand reasonable minds can differ. Just because you want something a certain way doesn't mean that it's going to happen. In life, it goes like that in every aspect. You know, when you're buying a car, when you're buying a house, whatever it may be. You know, he can't control the offers as they're going to give. He can only tell them merely what, you know, he is given a certain set of facts and he has to work with those facts. Sometimes they're good facts, sometimes they're not so very good, but it is what it is. Now, our case is old. It's 210 days old, and we set cases for trial at 180 days, and I have no idea how this got to be as old as it is now, but it's time to make a decision.
This is where everything tightens up. A deferred adjudication can feel like a victory. No conviction if every condition is completed exactly right. But pay attention to the judge's tone. This case has been around for a while, and patience is wearing thin. Monday becomes a turning point. Accept the deal or take your chances at trial. If you were in his position, would you choose the certainty or risk it all in court?
Now, in your case, they have offered you a 9-month deferred, which is a type of probation that if you successfully complete, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. You can't tell people it was dismissed because it's not dismissed. It's merely a probation that you took. If you complete successfully, you don't end up with a conviction, right? But that's the offer that they've made for you, and that's it appears as what the state has said, that it's going to stand. Look,
Very happy with that, Your Honor. Oh, I'm sorry.
you don't have to make a decision today. If you want to make a decision today and you want to be done with it today, we can do that. But I can give you one final setting to Monday. If there's other people that you want to talk to, it's up to you. But it's time to put this baby to bed once and for all. So I will give you the opportunity now to talk to Joe to see if that's something that you want to accept now. If you need a little bit more time, I can give you until Monday. But at that point, you must either accept the plea bargain or agreement, or I'm going to set your case for trial because it's just too old.
I haven't had a chance to talk to Eric. Can we set it for Monday?
Okay.
I'm not saying that, you know.
No, look,
Actually, I would go
you
with-
don't have to say anything. I'm happy to do that, but you get no more resets after that day.
I appreciate
So
it.
if you're unable to get a hold of him or whatnot, I don't care. You need to be diligent in getting together with Eric to figure out what you guys want to do with the game plan. Take a look at all the evidence, and then you make an informed decision at that point. But there's just no more time after that. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm sure that Joe can try to get you, help you get with Mr. Garza. Okay?
'Cause I don't know with his vacation schedule, you know, I don't want to put anybody out, but that's kind of how I think we ended up here.
We have too much.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All right, guys. Good luck.
Thank
Thank you, Joe.
very much.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, come on.
Mr. Vanderslice.
So this is with,
No, it's not it.
it's without the grade, right?
Yes, I told him to put it up there,
Okay.
and these are the enhancements, they said to abandon those two that are to the bottom. Just the, and it was 180 days from the
So
Yes, Judge?
but he had an open container of alcohol in the car too, though?
Yes, the surveillance shows that he hadn't been driving from 8:15 to 11 PM, and the car was also smoking at the time they,
Tell me what happened in this case, because I don't know anything about it.
I can,
I mean, if defense.
No, but I want,
okay.
please, read to me the dims.
Okay, Judge. My computer's been slow today, so my apologies.
It's okay. I want to know that I'm making the right decision. Mr. Vanderslice, I take public safety extremely serious. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're a small farm animal. My only concern is public safety, and if you leave a wake of death, that's just not a good thing, and now you've got a DWI. They're saying that there's a prior DWI. You've got alcohol in the car as well. I mean, when do we say when? Now, I don't know specifically what happened in your car. I'm just looking at the allegation here.
Prior DWI, if the judgment on DIMS
So,
or
one of-
NCIC is incorrect.
Well, one of them was reduced to a reckless, Judge, and the other one in Dallas was dismissed because he was convicted of murder.
So it's a third DWI.
It was, yeah, the other one was unrelated.
Go ahead.
On June 7th, 2024, officers were dispatched to the Circle K parking lot where they were advised of a white GMC Sierra. The officer observed the car partially in a stall, and the defendant was the driver and lone occupant passed out behind the wheel. The car was running and the defendant had his foot on the accelerator. The vehicle was in park. The officers woke the driver, who was extremely slow and lethargic, had slurred speech, watery eyes, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, an unsteady gait, and had to be guided back to the patrol vehicle. 2 bottles of Crown Royal Apple whiskey were located in the car. One was empty and one had a little bit left. The defendant said, "I'm not going to do anything to incriminate myself" when asked to do SFSTs. The DICs were read and a search warrant was executed and blood was drawn.
There should be a additional part to the probable cause that talks about the surveillance now.
I'm going to give you opportunity to say your piece, but so initially with this case, you went up and they had offered 270 days in jail.
365.
It was 365. And the reason is because you have a murder case. There was a prior murder case. Did you do time in TDC because of it?
Yes, sir, I did. I did 6.5 years on a 10, and they let me out for good behavior.
Okay, no, that's, and then not only that, but we have 2 prior DWIs as well. One was reduced. One was dismissed pursuant to the plea bargain agreement. So
2010, I think. 27 was the date of the offense, murder, the case that he had. And then that had nothing to do with the DWI.
The DWI
sent-
was in
I
2009.
sent a letter to everybody explaining, our agreement from before, which was a 2-year probation based on having looked at all this stuff. And then they re-looked at it and they said that they would be fine with the TRAS recommendations. But the reasons why I think they tripped it up is it looks like the murder and the DWI were at the same time roughly, but not part of the same transaction. So the DWIs had nothing to do with anybody dying. That was a sort of a bad.
sure. I
self-defense
mean,
case.
so while he's on bond for DWI, picks up a murder case, or is it vice versa?
Murder, he picked up a DWI case, I think was but it was at his aunt's funeral. And the problem is because he's been convicted of murder, the girlfriend wouldn't let him stay at the house, and he had a hotel. His wallet got stolen, so he was sleeping in the parking lot. And that's when he drank, when he went to sleep. If you look at the offense report, it does fill in a supplement after Mike and I talked. The officers went and looked at the surveillance. The surveillance, his car is not functional, and at night the lights don't work. So he had to park before it got dark. He couldn't stay at the hotel. He parks in a parking space at the convenience store, drinks, falls asleep, gets up to go to the restroom at like 10:30, which is 2 or 3 hours later. So the car doesn't move while he's drinking his apple crown. The car doesn't
Do
move
you
at all.
have that on video so that we can
That's on
verify
video
that?
surveillance.
Have you seen that?
I believe he looked at it with Kelsey. Is that what you
I've
said?
looked at it and it's in their stuff, but it's also in the police report. The officers looked at it and they put it in the DIMS as a supplement.
You take a look.
Yeah, at least the DIMS I read. So, and it says from 8:15 to about 11:03 when they came there that he did not drive his car. And that's when he says he sat in the parking lot and drank the liquor that he bought at the liquor store before 9 o'clock, obviously. And
So you're telling me that he pulls up to a liquor store,
he pulls up to a convenience store.
convenience store,
Correct. And
buys the whiskey
buys some whiskey
at
because
Circle K?
no, it's a different store. So he pulls up the liquor store before 9 o'clock. Then he pulls up to the Circle K at 8:15, I believe, or
Sure.
8:30.
So how do we know he's not drinking?
So Judge, the supplement says that officer also swore the video at the Circle K shows the defendant entering the parking lot of the store in his motor vehicle at 8:20 p.m. on June 6, 2024, and officers arrived on scene at around 10:50 p.m. on the same day. So they see him driving into the parking lot.
How do we know he's not drinking before he pulls into the parking lot?
Well, that's why I'm pleading. But, that's part of the reason. Obviously, his car doesn't move for the time he's in the parking lot. But he told me he bought the drinks before when he found out he could no longer be in the hotel. And that is because his lights didn't work due to an accident that his car had. He had to shut it off before it got dark. So he parked, he had nowhere else to go.
So there's no accident in this case?
There's
No
no
injury.
accident in
No,
this
Judge.
case, no. He had nowhere to go because of the murder conviction. He can't stay with his girlfriend when she has her kids.
Are you still on parole now?
No, sir.
Yeah, it was a 5-year offer from the state. It had to do with a roommate and a fight, ironically, over he was trying to prevent the roommate from driving intoxicated. But it not really a roommate, but it was a guy who was.
So do we really have to abandon the first paragraph, right? Because he said that in the Panola County, that's not a DWI conviction,
Yes,
correct?
Judge, that's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Okay, so let's abandon the first paragraph. The second paragraph, are you wanting to abandon as well? That would make it a mandatory 5-day minimum if we don't abandon.
Yes, Judge, and because we agreed, we came to you without an agreed rec, and we said that we would do what TRAS
If you
recommended.
plead true to this first paragraph here, that would make it a 30-day minimum.
Which paragraph? Yeah.
The murder,
No, I think the intent was to abandon that one.
Yes, Judge. So
abandon all three.
not the last one as well?
Yes.
That would make it a mandatory 30-day minimum.
Yes, Judge. I don't.
All right. Mr. Vanderslice, what you're doing now is you're entering into an agreement with me, and you want me to punish you as far as pleading guilty to this DWI conviction. You need to understand that this is a lifetime decision that you're making today, that once you plead guilty, there's no turning away. You give up so many valuable rights. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers, the right to be arraigned, charged read in open court. If you're not a citizen, or you can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization, you give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can't take it away. You have not been able to come up to an agreement with the state. The only other option is to either set up a trial or come to me if they waive that the ability to go to trial and to come to me for punishment. And they have agreed to do so. Do you want to come to me for punishment?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty?
Well, I'm pleading guilty, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find you guilty. The idea is that, how old are you? You're 52.
Sir.
When does it stop? At what point do you learn? At what point do you say, I can't, I got to stop. How much money has it cost you over the years? How much time has it cost you over the years? I can't.
And I totally agree with you. And I have stopped, and I am done, and I am stable in all directions at this time, and plan on staying that way and not disrespecting your county at all anymore. And you never see me again in this courtroom.
Everyone says that.
No.
The thing is that words mean nothing today, man. I get it that maybe in 1890 business was done on a handshake, but handshakes don't mean squat now, because people now, they don't think of consequence. They act without thinking, if I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? They just act. They shoot first, ask questions later. And in life,
This isn't just about sentencing anymore. It's a real courtroom wake-up call. The judge isn't thinking only about punishment. He's thinking about prevention, jail, probation, treatment programs. It's all aimed at stopping the next incident before it ever happens. And that's the real question here. When does the system stop offering chances and start prioritizing public safety?
you got to know when to say when. Shit is always going to happen in your life. You're always going to step in shit, right? But the idea is that you scrape it off your boot and you walk on, because it's going to constantly happen in your life. Something is always going to trip you up, whether someone dies, whether you lose your job, whether your wife cheats on you. It's always going to happen. But the idea is to figure out how to cope, how to deal with it, how to deal with the anger when it comes to you, because you're going to get angry. This agreement that you're getting with us today, you're pleading guilty to 180 days in jail. I'm going to put you on probation for 2 years, so I've got you next to me for the next 2 years.
Yes, sir.
And what we want to see is, how do you deal with the anger? How do you cope with the loss? Because it's invariably going to happen, whether you lose your pot, your mom, your girlfriend, someone cheats on you. That's how we need to cope with it. I got to imagine prison must have been one of the worst experiences ever, was it not?
So I was raped in prison.
And yet that now we have more, it sucks. Prison's not a great thing. It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to teach you not to come back.
I'll never be back again.
I bet you said that when you pled to the murder case. How much do you want to bet you said that on the murder case? I'm trying to make a point.
Sir, I
The
understand.
point I'm making is how do we reach you so that when you get angry again, when you get hurt again, you don't reach for a bottle, you don't reach for some kind of hardcore drug, get into a car and kill someone. All I'm asking you to do is don't take another life.
I will have the proper coping skills for any type of anger that comes in my direction for any reason.
Would say he's done a few things while being out on bond to show that his words are backed up with actions.
What has he done?
He hasn't tested positive. He's blown in the machine. He's
That's good.
sort of
That's great.
put his life together.
Good.
He's actually off. His doctor has changed his medication because of the quitting drinking has helped him with some mental problems. He's noticed that he's sought out help. I think he's working on an IOP, and he's done a lot while on bond, but mostly just stopping and seeing what his life turned into after he stopped, and he sort of likes it. And yeah.
That's all we ask. You know, I every single person that comes up here, $40 to $50, one button, wherever you want to go, Uber will take you.
Right.
You know, I routinely take when I go out with my wife because I like to drink.
Yes, sir.
I take an Uber everywhere, so I know I don't end up on the other side of this bar as well. As part of the agreement between you and I, you will be doing a repeat offender DWI education class, Thinking for a Change, 4 victim impact panels. No drugs, no alcohol, substance abuse treatment. There is a no breath test refusal. So if you are pulled over in a car and an officer asks you to submit to a breath test, you must do it.
Yes, sir. I have a lifesaver in my unit.
But if you get pulled over and an officer asks you, that's what I'm trying to say, you have to submit to it. You must maintain a guardian interlock, no drugs, no alcohol, a $150 one-time donation to Mothers Against Drunk Driving, intensive outpatient treatment followed by supportive outpatient treatment.
Sure.
Thank you for being so forthcoming. Not everybody is, and I truly appreciate it. And all we want to do is help as much as possible. And that's all it's what we like to do. We want to see you succeed, believe it or not. We want you to, walk out of here leaving better than you came. That's the idea. So that in the future, when you're confronted with these issues, you think before acting. That's all we're asking.
Sure.
All right. Do you have anything else that you guys wanted to add?
No, Judge.
Okay. Anything else?
License suspension or
Say it again?
license suspension or
No, because it's a true first, right? It's a true first because the first one, so I'm not going to suspend the license now. I want you to understand though, is that if I find that you drink, I'm going to put you in a rehab facility. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care if you're kicking and screaming and you got George coming up here just bitching and hollering. I don't care. If you consume, and I don't care where it's coming from, I'm going to put you in a rehab facility. If you violate this agreement, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to deem you a public danger, and I'm going to make your bond so high, you're going to go nuts. And then into a rehab facility, which is at a minimum 9 months if you respond well to treatment. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Vanderslice, we wish you the best of luck. I'll find you guilty. I'm going to follow the agreement, send you to it. Yeah. What do you do for a living, Mr. Vanderslice?
I'm an auto broker, sir. I help people, families that are in transportation in Houston gain access to vehicles.
And how much money do you make a month? Okay. The reason I'm asking is because is the DPS fines and fees and surcharges.
Yeah, he's basically indigent. I mean, part of the problem was he was living in his car. So it wasn't a hotel room where he can just stay somewhere. He does have somewhere to stay most of the time now.
Jen, the state, I mean, obviously it's up to you, Judge, but the state would be willing to forego the $150 donation to MAD.
No. That's part of the agreement that's going to stay,
Okay.
right? But let me do this. Have him fill out an indigency affidavit because I want to know.
Sure.
Be honest. You're going to fill out something. You're going to swear to it. So I want you to be honest. How much money you make? You know, if you don't qualify, then you're going to have to pay this fine. But it's spread over 2 years, so you're going to end up paying like $50 a month. So it's not expensive. But I want you to be honest on this affidavit. All right. Okay. Come on.